Hello, Namaste. Bonjour, book lovers. There came a situation where a 19-year-old third-year graduate was told that she can now pursue her dream career, and that too with a fully paid internship of 60 lakh per annum. The most impressive part is that she's the sole candidate of a whole nationwide contest. Yes, we did have such a situation where the girl is Srashta Vani Kolli.
Other than the said achievements, the reason why Book Talkies approached Miss Rasta is that Srashta, apart from being a studious girl as we can see, is also an accomplished poetess who had published 2 of her poem anthologies, the reviews of which had brought me closer to her much more than ever. You can also check out the reviews of her books in the links given in the description. So friends, let us now unravel the secret to success of Miss Rashta and help ourselves build a bright future for each of us too.
Miss Srashta, how are you doing? Welcome to our YouTube channel Book Talkies.
Hello Harshika, thank you so much for having me here. And I feel likewise. How are you?
I'm doing great. So how is it in Australia right now? How are you coping up? How are the things going with you?
After a few days I've arrived in Australia. They declared the lockdown, following which the university, even they transformed themselves to the online mode of delivery.
Yeah. Everything is like e-learning kind of thing, right?
Yes. And this is not how I expected my first semester to be. I wanted to meet new people, make friends, but but now we're all just trying to stay at home, avoid social interaction.
Okay. So it's so good, right? Having you here, and you might be feeling, oh my god, my first semester over here. And where do you hail from actually? And what is your background?
Well, I was born and brought up in Hyderabad, the state of Telangana, India. And at 17 years of age, I enrolled myself into BBLLB course in Reva University, Bangalore.
That's so
After
great.
4 semesters. And then after 4 semesters into the course, I started looking for studying 1 semester abroad, which is called semester exchange program.
Oh yeah.
That's when I came across a scholarship offered by University of Wollongong, Australia.
Yeah.
It's a scholarship for a law student from India, where they would provide 100% tuition fee waiver to that student.
And you got it, right? That changed the world. Scholarship by you.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, really, I was pleasantly surprised by listening that, from the nation, all over the nation, you are the one who won that scholarship, and 100% scholarship. That too in law course.
Yeah.
How did you? What happened?
It's still hard to believe. It's still hard to believe that I'm in Australia. Sometimes I wake up in the morning thinking I'm still at home, you know. But then I have a realization every morning that I'm not at home and I'm in a different continent altogether. And I should say I'm feeling pretty blessed. But ironically enough, due to the circumstances, not so blessed either.
Okay. So, what made you? What inspired you to join these law courses, and how did you get into the scholarship? How did you know about it in the first place?
Well, joining law course was kind of a long awaited decision, should I say. It was just the back of the mind because my father, he suggested me this as a career when I was like 13 years old. He's like,
Oh, so
maybe
you are
you
a
should consider it.
so you had a career plan at the very early age, and your career was all set in your mind, right?
Well, I would rather say I wanted to have many options
Hmm?
because I'm someone who likes to have a plan B and a plan C to every plan A I make. So when I was about to make these decisions, I had the option of, in my mind, I had the option of studying law
Hmm?
or studying literature. Then I realized that literature was a hobby, was a passion, and making that a career would like maybe ruin the fun I or the joy I was getting out of it. So I realized that my my skills in writing, my writing skills, or moreover the fact that I love writing so much could be utilized. That's after a long thought process and discussion. That's how I ended up choosing law. And coming to the scholarship, like I said, I just wanted to go to another country for one semester. But lucky enough, I get to lucky, and also at the same time, it involved a lot of process because this scholarship went from May 2019 till December 2019. That was when I found out in December 2019 that I was the recipient. So throughout all these months, there was a lot of waiting, lots of suspense, lots of waiting. Because when you put an effort into something, you obviously expect for
Expect,
that
yeah.
to happen. And in this case, the scholarship, they wanted a video application because every university has a different criteria.
Yeah.
The University of Wollongong, their
Was there
criteria
any
was
duration?
a video application
Was there any
titled.
duration for the video? Was there any duration
Yes,
for the
they were
video?
pretty strict about the Yes, they were pretty strict about the duration of 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. Above 2 minutes, the video gets disqualified. So we had to
Oh,
keep it at 2 minutes limit. Yeah, and the title of the video, or more, it was more of an answer to a question. The question was, how would you change the world using the scholarship?
uh,
Yeah,
in the scholarship itself, we have that name, Change the World Scholarship.
yeah,
So they
yeah.
choose you as the change maker.
So, well, you could say that. Considering I'm the recipient, you can interpret that way.
Okay. So how were you like a primary school girl and a high school girl? Was there any change?
Oh,
And from now, like when you compare your schooling days and now, do you think there's any change in you in your mindset or anything?
yes, yes. If I think as a primary school girl and a high school girl itself, there was a lot of change within me. And if you compare to now, it's like a major difference. As the primary school girl, all I had in my mind was two things. One was going home from school because I did not like spending so much time at school. I think I was one of the
Like
students
any
who had
other
like,
day?
I was one of the students who wished to not attend school. Like I did not want to go. All I had on my mind was cycling. I loved my bicycle. I absolutely loved it.
So
Um,
you cycle too, like
I,
you ride a cycle,
yeah, yeah,
and you're very fond of it, riding the
yes.
cycle.
I Yes, I could. As long as I can remember it, I've always had a cycle, like different sizes. Like when you have a tricycle when you're like it's just a toddler. When you grow up, you have your mid-sized cycle. And then when you're a little older, you have the big ones. So
Yes.
yeah, as long as I remember, I always had a cycle, and as a primary school kid, I loved cycling. Like
With
my
our age,
parents had
even
this
the
garden, and the garden, yeah.
with our age, even the size of the cycle will be growing, right?
Yes, yes, that's true. Like As long as you're growing, the size and the cycle also grows with you. That's a quite a good comparison. That's quite good observation, Harshika.
Thank you. Yeah, it seems like you've written two books, right? Like two books which has a compilation of various poems of yours from 13 to 18 years of age, right? So, what is the key force that drove you till there? Like writing a book, getting it published, writing poems. I heard that you've written a poem while you were 11 years of age, I think, a Hindi poem.
Yes, that's right.
So, what drove you until there?
Uh, what drove me was that, like the first poem, when I was 11, the Hindi poem. We had an activity where everyone had to incorporate a concept in their own way. Like, one person took up, say, sun as a concept and ended up making a painting. Someone else made a skit, and I wanted to do something very different. And all of these things seemed like, I don't know, things that were just that did not click with me. But then when it comes to writing, that there was some kind of force that pulled me towards it. There was some kind of enjoyment in writing, I guess, that I felt when I finished finished writing. And the what drove me was the after effect. Like, after I wrote the poem, I shared it with my father. Coincidentally, the poem was about a farmer, and my father, because we belong from a agricultural community, my father felt quite connected. He was very happy, very. He was, the word elated. Like, I could see that elation in his face. He was so happy that his daughter, who grew up in a urban jungle, in a concrete jungle, was also able to connect to her roots. And seeing that gave me a lot of joy. And after that, he proudly shared my work with his friends and colleagues. And
So he was proud
when
of
you're
you.
11, you feel like a celebrity when that happens.
So he was very proud of you for a single poem.
Yes. And after that, I attempted again, this time in English, because I was more comfortable in English. Then I wrote about a farmer again. Once again, I made my father happy. And then on Mother's Day, I wrote about my mother. My parents were so proud. Like, they were always proud of me for doing many things, but this was something very unique. So they framed the poem and hung it in our living room, like, so that every person who enters the house can see that.
And we'll feel really so overwhelmed by that.
And when all of this was happening, my father was like, I think we should publish a book. I think I got so nervous that he said that I stopped writing altogether.
Why? That's a good idea.
I stopped writing literally. I don't know. I know, right? I know it is such a good idea. Imagine if all of these compilations had been put together a long time ago. But no, I was so nervous, I guess. I don't know. You could say performance pressure. I don't know what to call it. But I just stopped writing altogether. And then I slowly, I think around 16, 17-ish, that age, I slowly started getting back, because I've suppressed it for so long that I couldn't hold it anymore. And when I had proper inspiration, I just ended up writing so many altogether. Like, all of those suppressed emotions, I could put them on paper, and I felt so relieved after that.
So pen and paper became your best friends from then.
Yes, actually, that makes a lot of sense, because they are my stress relief. I feel so much better when I do what I do. You have that feeling when it's my thing. You have like, it's my thing, it's my passion, it's mine. I got that possessiveness over writing over time. So yeah, that's what drove me.
By looking at your writings, I felt that you might be reading a lot of books, right? So, do you read
Oh
a lot
well,
of books?
I do enjoy reading a lot, but when you're enrolled in a full-time course in university, things well, it's kind of become hectic, and you don't have as much time as you used to.
Hmm.
But previously, I used to be able to read like 3 to 4 books at the same time. That's how much I enjoyed reading.
That's great. Three
Yeah,
to four books at a time.
I know. I know. Like, don't do that, Harshika. You're just young. Don't do that. You just read one book at the same time.
Okay. So, uh, so how do you think books can bring a change in us?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Okay, I'll give you an example
Hmm?
because I think that this is a question I can only answer that way. But I was talking to a friend once about books, and we were talking about fiction. Not we were talking about fiction, and she ended up saying something like, whichever book she's reading,
Hmm?
she tends to adapt to the protagonist. It could be from a character, or it could be just a narration itself. I just pick up things from that after reading a book. Say one, I like the writing style. I adapt to that writing style. Say a character is really meticulous in the day-to-day life. I end up trying to become more like the character. So yeah, if you see that way, books have a interim influence, like an influence you don't see,
Hmm?
but you just know it.
Yeah.
Over a
Yes.
course of time, you just know it. So that way, the books do have a lot of influence, and they have the power to indeed change a person, because I've known some people who after reading a book, they came to me and they were like, this book changed my life. Imagine you're holding a 300 page book. It's just a 300 pages of paper, and that changed someone's life. So imagine the power it has,
It is having.
right?
Yeah. So, what is your favorite book of all time?
Oh, all time,
May it be as a
I would.
child or an adult?
Oh, oh. Mm, I wouldn't say favorite, but I would rather say a book I like to reread again, because I don't read the book I already read. It's something I don't do because I wish to read newer things. But
Huh.
if I could read a book again, it would be To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. That is something
Oh,
I would rather like to read it again and again.
that's great. Yeah, I too have heard about that book a lot of times. So I should also, I think,
Yes,
do you
yes,
recommend it
it's
for me?
I I would say I would just wait a couple of years, then you would be able to like fully grasp the book.
In what do you find more joy? Like an author or a student?
Ooh. Now that's a very complicated question. That's a very complicated. You're basically asking me to choose between a passion and a career.
Yeah. Do you think
As much as I like to fuse both of them together,
hmm?
they both have their own role in my life, because as a student, things like are regular. I have the day-to-day basis going on. But as an author, I would rather see myself as a writer than author,
Yeah.
because author puts a lot of pressure on my mind.
Why?
The sound of the author. I don't know. I don't know.
Like it's
I
a
think
big
it's
word.
because yeah, because as a kid, I always looked up to authors because they were authors. So
So who
yeah,
is your
as an
favorite
author,
author? Who is your
oh,
favorite
I would rather not comment. Um, I try not to choose one because I get obsessive over the author. Like I only read that author's books, so I
Not
try
like
not to choose one.
not like that, but whose writings inspired you a lot?
Jenna,
Or
changed
It's
you?
just something I do. So, hmm I would say, um, I really liked Haruki Murakami's writing style. But the fact is, I have read his books in English. He writes in Japanese, but I read in English. But
Yeah.
even that, like the writing style, it's so simple yet captivating. Like the words are so simple, yet you feel so drawn to it. That's one thing I really like about his writing, and I wish to learn Japanese just so that I could read his book in Japanese. Yeah. So, like you were
that gives a
asking,
spe- that gives a special feeling. Reading like
yeah,
how it is
yeah,
written actually.
yes, yes. I mean, of course, we have to give a lot of appreciation to the translators who's put in a lot of effort in translating from one language to another and has
Yeah.
still retained its meaning. But the original will remain original, and I want to learn the language just so that it will give sense.
Yeah, translating is a complicated job.
Yeah, yeah. You have to be good at both the languages. You have to be proficient at the language you're translating from and to.
Yeah, and it should give the same meaning again.
Yes, yes, which is a really hard task, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, when you started reading books and finding your new self in yourself, so how do you think will the future be, or how will the world of books or world of literature be, and how passionate are you about it?
Hmm. Uh, as a future, we already have something called as ebooks.
Hmm?
It has made things easy at the same time complicated. Now you have better access to books. Previously, you had to like go looking for a particular book across different libraries, bookstores. But now you have easy access. There must be a book somewhere in a university across the continent, but now you can access it
Through your
through the
gadgets, devices.
yes, yes. It's made complicated in terms of the fact that number one, as the readers, we enjoy the feel of a book. You know,
Yeah,
when you're
the
holding
smell
it.
of the smell of the book
Yeah,
and the feel of the book.
yeah. And as a like you said, just asked me as an author, I went through the process of the book, like before it gets published. Every paper in the book, every side of a paper is well thought out. Like a thought, it's precisely put together to give a reader the feeling. So when things get um, online or when things are transformed towards your gadgets,
Yes,
all of that work might not get enough credit and appreciation. You know?
yes, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's things got easy at the same time complicated.
Uh, which one, in your opinion, is hard to tackle? Failure or success?
I would definitely say success. Definitely, because in failure, there's no one around you. You'll probably just have your loved ones. But in success, people whom you've never known or people whom you didn't know existed end up coming into your life and try to influence you or try to take advantage of your success. And
Hmm.
different things could result from that. And you need to be humble with all of that happening. So definitely it's a success. Failure teaches you lots of things, and you'll have to when you come across a failure, you will have to go through a journey, a self journey. But in a success, things happen that you would never dream of. People whom you probably stopped talking to or never spoke to even end up trying to become good friends with you from that success. So
and,
yeah, and
and we have to withstand with that. Like we have
yeah,
to
you have to.
maintain it all the time. Otherwise,
Yes,
once we have a small mistake, or once we do a small mistake, that's it. Will fall down. Will collapse.
yeah,
Everything, the hard work we
yeah,
did,
that's true.
will
Yeah, you
collapse.
have
Right?
to. Yes, yes, you have to to be humble, not egoistic. You have to maintain your calm. So yes.
So I've heard you, what is your opinion? You tell me that I've heard that you are much passionate about music. You were in your childhood and you wanted to go to a lot of music classes, right?
Yeah. I'm surprised. How did you know that?
I got to know it somehow.
Oh, probably you have your own ways. I wouldn't question your ways, but yeah. Well, I did enjoy music a lot. I still do. As a kid, I wanted to be a singer or at least some kind of musician. Some kind, just because music has a way of connecting people that no other channel has. Not even books can reach that level. Because books take effort. Music is like it's just coming to you, and you whatever the artist is, the musician is making, you are connecting to it through a channel. Just you're listening. So I felt there was some kind of power, and I wanted to be, but I just couldn't. So I have a dream of just writing music, writing songs someday.
Oh,
That's the dream I have right now. Yeah.
So music and books, they both are on the same path. They both they have the perfect combination, I think.
Yes.
And I hope you also have the same feeling, or your opinion is also on the same light.
Yes. Good music, like that combination, perfect.
So, still, are you in plan of writing any other book, or are there any other books coming up?
Well, there are plans of next books this time. I'm trying to use a different writing technique than the ones I've already chosen, because those are the things that I'm more comfortable in, and I don't want to be comfortable anymore. I want to challenge myself with newer writing techniques and newer genres. So I'm taking a little time, but yes, there are plans for next books.
So you want to explore a lot of things.
Yes,
but everything, right?
Yeah.
In the recent scenario, we see that a lot of students who are unable to handle the failure are just choosing the path of suicide, right? So what do you want to speak about it? Like, how do you want to tell my friends and others about how to tackle the failure, and how?
Well, failure is something, it means different things to different people. And failure itself is different to different people. Something I perceive as failure might not be the same thing to you. And it's something that it affects a person on a personal basis. And sometimes it takes toll on your mental health. And mental health is not something we can ignore so easily.
Yes.
And it is very, very important to seek help when it is needed.
Being mentally ill is more dangerous than physically ill.
Yes. Because you can't detect, an outsider cannot detect a person's mental scope at any point of time. So I think it's very important to reach out, seek help, and most important is the fact that you should be happy with yourself. I wouldn't use the word happy, but content. Self-contentment is very important during the times, especially the time we are going through such hard times where some people are away from their loved ones and their only scope. Yes, because as someone who's away from home, I really understand that and the importance of staying connected. Yeah.
It was so nice talking to you.
Same, likewise, Harshika. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Have a nice day and take care. Stay safe.
Thank you for being on our channel today. And I think most of us have learned a lot of things from this part of video. And I hope we have such conversations again further. And I think a lot of students might have understood about, because of the last question, a lot. They've got some knowledge by your words, I think. So, awaiting many such conversations. Thank you.
Thank you, Harshika.